for joining us for the live class. I'm your host, Sarah Jacobson, and I am one of the co-founders of FairStreet. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I know it's the beginning of AEP and this is an incredibly busy time, but it's also a time when growing your business is incredibly top of mind for every single Medicare agent. Today, I'm excited to introduce our speaker, Cody Schneider of Schneider Media. Cody is a true local marketing expert, and he has consulted and worked with hundreds of small business owners to help them optimize their marketing and build their digital presence. So today, he's going to be sharing how you can get more people to discover you on Google by setting up a Google business site on Google Maps, and he'll actually walk you through how to do that. A few housekeeping items. So this class is recorded, so feel free to take notes, but we will be sending this out afterwards in case you want to revisit any of the content. And we're also going to have a Q&A at the end. So hold your questions till the end, and then there will be an opportunity to ask. And last thing, this class is hosted by FairStreet. FairStreet is a startup FMO and CRM platform that helps independent agents manage their clients all in one place. You can send custom intake forms, quote and enroll in different plans, record calls, and a lot more. All right, so let's dive into the class. Cody, thank you so much for being here and welcome.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Sarah. Yeah, I'm super excited to present this today. This is kind of one of the biggest opportunities for small businesses, especially in the service or professional services space. So yeah, with that said, we'll just dive in. I'll start sharing my screen and we can get started. So let me go to here. So yeah, again, what we're going to talk about today is really how to optimize your Google My Business and Google Maps listing so that you can get more leads from this listing that's provided by Google. So quick agenda, I'm going to talk about the opportunity and just kind of explain, what exists. From there, we'll go into Google Maps and Google My Business and how they're related. We'll then talk about listing setup, how to optimize the listing, and then how to measure results to actually see the changes that you've made, how they're performing and affecting it. So with that said, we can dive in. So what I'm going to do right now, just to begin and kind of set the stage, is let's just go ahead and Google Medicare agent and then a city name. So I'm going to use Spokane as the example for today. So Medicare agent, Spokane. And let's look at what comes up. So the first things we see are ads at the top of the page, and then the thing that's immediately below that. So before all of the other organic search results, what you get is what's called the map pack. So this is actually Google Maps. So Google is actually pulling these listings in from Google Maps and then serving them to somebody that is searching for this keyword phrase that they designate as being a local search. So for local searches, they show this local map. So why this is important and an opportunity is there's only 3 spaces that show up here. But if you can get yourself to show up within these spaces, you can see a ton of impact. There's a ton of results, both from a brand like elevation and also leads that come from that. And I'll talk through that, a little bit further. But question, I always ask people is, does your company show up here? That's something to look at and think about. And here's how to get it to, show up more often. So again, so this is this opportunity that we're talking about today. This whole section is related to Google Maps. All of these listings are actually managed by what's called a Google My Business profile. So Google My Business, and I can actually show that relationship here. Google My Business manages your Google Maps listing, which then allows for you to show up in those search results. So we're going to talk about this whole relationship today. I'm going to actually show you how to make this Google Maps listing. And what we will do today, this is the impact that you can see from this. So this is with another client I've worked in the past with previously. So we had their initial business launch. You can see the spike. Then as they go down, into these months, it's 4 months of, no growth happening. We do a little bit of optimization, and within 30 days, we see their total impressions to their Google Maps profile double, right? So this is something that is super impactful, that you see results really quickly in comparison to, other things that you could do around, this space. So a lot of people have, invested in building a website. They may have heard of SEO and paid a company to get them to show up in those search results. A lot of this time, those are super expensive. You're paying $5,000 for a website, and maybe you consult with an SEO company for a year, and it's $10,000. So this is free to set up. You can do it in about 2 hours. And again, you're going to see those results in under 30 business days. So it's really impactful and really quick. All right. Okay, so let's talking about listing optimization now. So these are the 5 things that are going to make the most impact to get your Google Maps listing to show up most often for those keywords that are related to your business. So keywords in the title, and again, we have a cheat sheet that we'll send out to everybody. Again, with this being recorded, we'll actually send out this presentation so you can just take these and plug them, copy and paste them into yours. We're going to also talk about the business description and then the services completed, completing all of the business info, photos, and then reviews. And again, these are prioritized by the level of impact it's going to make for the total number of impressions and leads you're going to get, from these changes. So the one thing I'll point out, a lot of the times people think reviews is the most important thing. This is actually not entirely true. And again, it's here. So this company has 3 reviews, but it's ranking in position 2 within that Google Maps pack, in contrast to this one having 16. And the reason for this is they probably just have a better optimized profile in total. So reviews are important, but especially in the services space, what we find is that because it's so non-competitive, a lot of professional service companies they aren't thinking about this as a something that they should focus their marketing resources on. Because of that, just a few minor changes and even just a few reviews, they can go a long distance in making you basically outperform your competitors in the space. So right, so with that said, we're actually going to dive in and talk about just do a demo of here's how to set up your profile. And here's how to optimize it. So we, step by step, so you can. And again, we're recording this, so we'll send this out, and you'll be able to watch, through the site at your own time, and reverse back and rewatch as needed. So the first thing you'll do is you'll go to Google My Business. So you can just search that in Google My Business. The first results will come up. So because I already have an account, I can click Manage Now, which will jump me into this. If you haven't set this up previously, it'll have a sign that's here. So once you're here, you may have a business that's already added. If not, you just click Add Business, Add Single Business. And what that will then do is take you to this page that allows you to search the business name or add that business name. So oftentimes what we see, especially if the company has been around for a long period of time, they already have a Google Maps listing, but they just haven't claimed it. So you can search, for example, I'm just going to do this, Schneider Insurance, right? And it's going to look for all of those company names. If you don't see yours there, that's no problem. You just hit create a business, and then it's going to walk you through that process of kind of onboarding and setting up. It's going to ask you questions related to, do you do deliveries, the service area that you provide the services within, the hours of operation, phone number, a website, products, services, and then, just a business description and your open date and photos. So it'll ask you for all that. We're going to actually go through each of those pieces today. Again, we're looking at these 5 things. And so that's what we're going to talk about. So let's start it off. Okay, so keywords in your title. So to talk just a quick second about keywords. Keywords are the phrases that people will use to search for the types of services that independent Medicare insurance agents provide. So what we did here is aggregated all the keyword phrases that we see searched most often in relation to these types of services that we provide. So Medicare agent, Medicare insurance agent, Medicare supplement agent, et cetera. What we're going to do is take one of these keyword phrases that are most related to our business. So say we're an independent Medicare agent. We would then add that to our business listing. So again, back in here, we can make that change. So what I always suggest to people is have your business name and then the keyword phrase that most descriptive of the type of business that you are based on this list here. You don't want to use phrases that are ones that you've like made up to self-identify yourself. They can be great for differentiation, but again, what we're trying to include here is really the things that people are looking for already, right? So what this means is that there's search volume. So every month, people are searching for these things already. If you do just a random phrase that is trying to, be descriptive but not one of these, what you'll find is that because not a lot of people are searching for it, you won't. It doesn't create any value, right, for having it there. So again, coming back, you'll have your business name, you'll have one of those keyword phrases in the title of the business, and then that's it. Our first one is checked off, right? So that's how simple that alone is going to make a huge amount of impact to your Google My Business and Google Maps listing. So from there, we'll then go on to the business description, and this is the second thing that creates impact. So they only allow you to have 750 characters. So they put a limit on this. But what we found through the testing that we've done with our clients is that just by adding this, again, all of these keyword phrases that we have here, doing it in this format. So we built this template that will actually just copy and paste in to the business description. By adding that there, it's going to make a massive amount of impact again. So right now, I don't know if it's going to let me highlight this. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to. Let me see if I can move this over and go full screen. There we go. Cool. So from there, I can just copy that. Escape out of that. Zoom. And I'll just copy that right in. And so what I would suggest for people is adding just a dash in front, just to show that difference, to show that it's like a bullet point, and do those for each of those. And then again, for each person that's doing this process, you'll put your business name in, or change your business name. So I'm Station Insurance, and then we'll say, again, using Spokane as our example, do Spokane, WA. And you can adjust this however you like. Typically, all we're trying to do is have the business name, have the keyword phrases that we're trying to go after, and again, rank for, and then talk about the types of services that are provided, and then doing kind of a paragraph version of that. And then we're going to go for all of these, what are called long tail phrases, so all the other variations of these keywords that people are searching for, just adding them in a form of a listed services below. Those two things together are going to cover all of your bases and make sure that you rank for all of these phrases that are related to your business's services. So once we've done that, we hit apply, that saves it. And you can see that update has happened. And then we will move on to completing our the rest of our business profile setup. So again, that's adding a website. So I'll just do insurance. That is adding our hours. And we'll say, okay, hey, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're open. And we're open from 8 a.m. to say 5 p.m. All right, and you can do that for each of those. We'll hit apply, and I'll just do cancel so we save time. And then the next thing that we'll do is we'll focus on adding these services. So the services are actually going to be these exact keyword phrases that we added, or that we have here. We're going to add those individually as services into the service section. So within service options, what I'll end up doing. Sorry, I'm just moving my Zoom stuff around. Oh, sorry, here it is, services. We're going to add Medicare insurance agent. And you can add that custom service. So we'll hit save. And then we'll just do that for each of these. So Medicare Advantage agent. And again, these are all the keyword phrases that we've identified for you that already have search volume. And this is all over the US. And there's variations that people use of these. Like, for example, they'll search Medicare agent near me as an example. But by just including that Medicare agent in your listing, it's going to go after those variations like near me, around me, close to me, etc. And so once you've completed adding all the services, we will go back to the info section. And again, that services section was down here. And opening date isn't super important, but the next thing that is important is photos. So let me show you an example of what a good photo looks like. Having headshots, and if you have a physical location, both inside and outside of the building, those two things alone are going to make a huge amount of really just impressions and raise you up within those results. And again, just to reiterate, like why we're trying to like get more impressions and get more views, right? So the more people that we get in, like the more it's basically a funnel, right? So it's like, imagine we're only in front of 10 people and 10% of those turn into a lead. So we're only going to get one. But if we can increase the amount of people from 10 to 100, but we're still getting that 10%, we're not going to get 10 leads, right? So that's the reason for why we're focusing on this. Sorry, jump me back. All right, so this is an example of a good listing that that has photos, and I can actually show you this exact one, just so you can see what that looks like. And the reason that this is important, this is one of the first things that people check, right? So they want to see, oh, do they have at least some reviews, and then they're going to go and look at the facility. They want to see what the building looks like, where they're going to go, and who are the people that they're going to be interacting with, right? So again, this is a very personal type of business. They're trying to like just show that this actually exists and that these people are trustworthy. That's what we're trying to signal by having these photos included. The amount of views you'll see on these photos is crazy. So this is again for another client. We can just look at their real data. So this photo, oh, sorry, this is the wrong listing. Let me go to this one here. And we'll go to photos. So this photo, which is just the interior of the building, or in the interior of the space, it was uploaded in 2018, and it has over 102,000 views, which is crazy to think about. That is how like powerful these photos can be and how important they are for people that are viewing your listing. You're going to get a ton of impressions from this. And again, this kind of illustrates how thirsty people are to see these types of photos that are related to your business. So again, that's why we will optimize that profile. So when we upload those photos, super easy and straightforward. Again, you can just do headshots or interior, what I always tell people is headshots, interior, and then exterior. So you're trying to show them, really how are they getting, like, what does the outside of the building look like? So if they drive there, they show up, what are they looking for? What is the inside going to look like? So kind of the environment that they're going to be spending their time with or time in, and then who is the person that I'm actually going to be talking to, right? So that's where those headshots come in. All right, and the final thing we're going to talk about today is reviews. So reviews are, again, they're typically overemphasized in importance, but they still do matter. But really, all you have to do is just have a couple. If you have 5 reviews as a Medicare agent, depending on the competitiveness of your area, but 5 reviews is going to go a super long distance. And considering the amount of clients that we see a lot of these agents have, and the deep relationships that you're in, already in with these individuals, it's going to be really easy for you to acquire those. And so what I'm going to do today is actually show you how you could get, or basically ask your current customers to review your Google My Business. So again, we're going to use this as an example, just because it's easy to illustrate. So for them, we'll click Google Reviews and write review. And so for you, once you've published your listing, it's verified and it shows up on Google. You can then navigate to that listing. So just search your business's name. So again, it would be like, Schneider Insurance, Spokane. Once you find that business's name, you can then click the Google Reviews section. And then if you click Write Review, it's going to create this pop-up. And what this actually does is it's this link to open this. So go to another window and do that. It's going to make that open. So you can then, the idea is you take that link and then add that to an email that you would send to your client. So again, I'm just going to compose one just to show you what this looks like, if it'll let me. So you could be like, click this link. And so you could be, hey name, and this is typically what you want to do is just thank them, and then ask them if they've had good service to leave a 5-star review. Some people, what they'll do actually as well is they'll write out specific copy, be like, here's what you should post. We wrote out written review for you in advance to make this easier. And then you would have, that quote from them. So their Medicare, or these Medicare agents know their stuff. I'm sorry, doing this live, so it's probably not going to be the best copywriting. These Medicare agents know their stuff. Highly suggest working with them for Medicare Part D. And what you can actually do in this template that you send out, and what I would suggest is including those keywords again that we're talking about here, including those in the copy that you give your client to add in the review section. And the reason for that is you'll see that Google will actually pull up, go to the section and I'll get out of here. Google will actually pull up and highlight the review highlight those keywords within the review section. So again, if you say somebody searched Medicare Part D Spokane as an example, if there was Medicare Part D that was referenced within the Google reviews, it would actually highlight that and it would suggest that listing higher up because that review referenced that specific keyword phrase. All right, I know that was a lot. Again, this is something that, a few tweaks can go a really long distance. It's, and just to reiterate kind of the power of all of this, right? So why this is such, a huge opportunity. So this is free to do, right? Like you don't have to pay anybody. It takes about 2 hours of your time. And you're going to see those results within 30 days. And you also you don't have to have a website or work with another contractor to get this done, or invest, in a long-term marketing strategy, SEO strategy to get the impact that you're trying to see. And I think, again, just to talk about this, finally, like why this is so important is because this is what Google is showing people when they're searching for your types of services, right? When people are searching Medicare agent, Spokane, and let me go back to actual Google. So Medicare agent, Spokane. This is the first thing that's coming up, before all of these websites that, people have invested money in building, before, all of these websites that people have spent all this SEO, resources on. This is coming up above that. And and Google is wanting to reward you for investing in this, right? So by giving them your information, they're going to say, oh, this business, like we want them to succeed, because they're trying to crowdsource all, like, instead of having to go out and crawl this information and collect it themselves, they're putting that responsibility on the business owner, and the business owners that take that opportunity and then actually provide that information to Google, they're going to reward them again with more leads, etc. Okay, final thing is we're going to talk about insights, actually how to measure the impact that you see from this. So again, I'm just going to use a different client's account, but what we'll be able to see is actually the month over month growth of a specific account. And why this is important, why this is valuable is once you've made these changes, you can actually measure the effect that it's had on your company. So calls are probably important. So you can look at the amount of calls that are happening month over month. You can also look at website clicks. And again, all of this is coming for free from Google. They're providing this to you. And you can see the composition of how people are finding you. Is it Google search? Is it Google desktop? What are the keyword phrases that they're using to identify your business? And then as you get more and more of this data, and you can actually take these keyword phrases and add them back into your business description. So again, you can iterate on the learnings that you find from the insights panel. And so again, this is kind of the simple form or simple way to do this. And what you'll see is, if this is done right, again, you can have this massive uptick in organic impressions that are coming to your business from Google My Business, and that will happen within less than 30 days. A lot of the times it's like only 2 weeks, which is amazing when you think about it in contrast to, okay, people always say like Facebook ads can take 3 months to actually figure out. SEO is 12 months. This is something that, again, we can do tomorrow, and 2 weeks from now we're going to see the results from that. So all right, I think that's everything. We can open it up for Q&A now, Sarah, if you would like. So
all right, Cody, thank you so much for sharing that. It's incredibly valuable, and I don't think a lot of agents know about it.
Totally.
Go ahead and raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. I know Chad and Suzanne, each of you had put something in the chat. So go ahead, and there's a raise hand button at the bottom of Zoom. And in the meantime, I'm also going to launch a poll asking everyone to just rate on a scale of 1 to 10. How useful was this class? How likely are you to recommend it to another Medicare agent? And we use that data to determine, how well we're doing and what kind of classes we should be working on. Suzanne, I'm going to take you off mute. Why don't you go ahead and answer your question? Ask your question. I think you're still on mute, though. You might have to hit the microphone button.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, how are you? I just, well, you can see through my email the company that I work for. So I don't know if that's partially holding me back, but when I tried to follow the steps that you were doing, and it says that I don't have access to that.
Yeah. So are you like an individual agent within a larger agency? Is that how it's kind of structured?
Yeah, I'm I write business under Health Markets. I'm a 1099. Like I'm not a W-2. I'm 100% on my own.
Totally.
But they do have branding, and
yeah. So what you could probably do is actually just your name. So instead of the business name that I had, again, where it was like Schneider Media dash what did we say, Medicare agent, you could just do Suzanne Mead dash Medicare agent, and then just designate the area that you provide that service to. You don't have to have like a business address. So I would actually just set up your own listing, and then create it, for yourself specifically. You can totally do that, and Google allows that for, again, these kind of like professional service providers, like people that are in your position. They 100% support that. So,
and Cody, would you recommend doing that with a personal email address? Suzanne, if I'm hearing you correctly, maybe you're not able to create the Google business entity using your Health Markets email.
Well, now I'm not even. I'm just in Google and I did type in Suzanne Mead dash Medicare agent. Like, I guess like my biggest thing is I think I can't even start doing what you just did. And I
Gotcha.
don't know why.
Yeah. So let me see. What I can do, Suzanne, too, is we can actually just like troubleshoot this. I'll provide my email and we can do it that way. We'll just like with follow-ups. But what I will add in the chat, I don't know if people will be able to see this. If you go to this page, so rather than like going from Google Maps, but instead going from Google My Business, you should be able to just make a new business from that link that was just sent in the chat. I don't know if they can see that. Can they, Sarah? Or
they should be able to. Like... Suzanne, can you see the Zoom chat?
I cannot.
Okay, I'm gonna put it then in did you see the answer that I typed to your Q&A question?
I did.
Okay, so I'm just gonna post it then, or there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. While I do that, in the meantime, Chad, I will unmute you and would love to hear your question as well. There we go. And I think you're still on mute, so if you just hit that microphone button.
Hey, thanks for everything. Appreciate the invite and you guys doing this. But I was going in under category for the info, and I tried to type in some of those keywords just to add them, and it's giving me, it says we don't understand your category, and then it will not allow me to apply them. Is there a way to work around that?
Yeah, I think the category that they typically put them under is like insurance agent. So it's a higher, like broader category rather than like Medicare agent. I think if you do that, it should solve that. We have data on this as well of like what most people categorize them as. What I can do is go back and look at that, Sarah, and then just like basically pass that on in the follow-up email to everybody. So does that help as well, Chad?
Yeah, so I've got a lot of that stuff in the services side where you were talking about, but I was trying to like see if I could put it in the category and it just wasn't letting me do it. So I didn't know if I was doing something wrong. Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. If anyone else has a question, feel free to raise your hand. In the meantime, I want to ask one additional question to you, Cody, which is, what do you do if there are a lot of agents listed in Google Maps in your area? And what are some of the easy ways you can stand out?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really emphasize the photos piece. You're going to see so many businesses that just haven't like put any effort into this. And because of that, it's just extremely non-competitive. So again, just a few, like if you do what we just described, you are in the top 10% of all people in your general area. And the reason for that is again, because people aren't thinking about that. They know they need a website. They know, maybe they do direct mail, and maybe they've done, some digital advertising like Facebook ads or Google ads. But very few are thinking about this as a marketing opportunity. Even though, again, it's the thing that is first coming up for any local search after ads, right? So like somebody searches any local business type, you're going to see ads, and then you're going to see the Google Map pack. And it's amazing that, even though it's coming up in that position, at the top of the page, so few people are investing in this. Like, are you even doing anything in this space that you're just going to be out competing them by just doing those things that we talked about today? So hopefully that answers that question. But
that makes a lot of sense. And I think, yeah, it's maybe easier than we might be thinking to be able to rank highly. Glenn, I saw that you put a question in the chat. I'm happy to, do you want to go ahead and just ask that question live to Cody?
Yes. The keyword search phrases that you came up for the Medicare phrases and things of that nature, how do we identify those for other insurance and offerings that we have?
Great question. Do you have an example of that insurance, like another
whole life insurance of annuities, 401k rollovers?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so what I'll show you guys is two versions of how to do this. So the first one, so we'll do like whole life insurance. Is that what it was called?
Mhm.
Whole life insurance policy. Nice. Okay. So a really easy one actually is just using Google, like what they suggest. So here are all of these phrases that are related to that. So that's kind of the easy, simple version that you don't have to do anything. If you want to get even further and more technical with this, you can get a software that's called Keywords Everywhere. And so let me just do this. I'll show you what it looks like. And again, all of this is recorded, so it can be referenced back to. So what Keywords Everywhere is a Chrome extension that allows for you to see all of the search terms that are related to the phrase, the keyword, the initial keyword phrase that you searched. So as an example, we searched whole life insurance, and we can see all of these terms that it understands are typically related searches to that original search that was done. So whole life might not be a great example. I'll just use this Medicare agent as a way to show you what I mean. So again, here's all of these phrases that people are using that Google like associates with each other. Like when we talk about it, we describe it as like a keyword family, right? So it's like almost think about it as a mind map where it's like each of these things are connected, and it's kind of this branching out spider web, right? So this tool is free. Also, there's a paid version that will show you the actual search volumes. And just to describe search volumes, again, at a super high level, what this is saying is the suggested amount of times that people are searching these specific phrases. But it's really more of a representative number. So to expand on that, Medicare agents near me, it's saying it gets 2,400 searches per month, right? Compare that to independent Medicare agents near me at 590 searches per month. All these numbers really mean is that Medicare agents near me is getting searched 5 times or 4 times more often than independent Medicare agents near me. So it's more of how much more often are these things searched? But this is really great. Like when we look at keyword volumes, what we can do is measure the value of like going after a specific keyword based on that search volume, right? So this only has 10, searches per month, and that's saying that it's less likely, it's less, less often it's searched than Medicare sales agent, right? So it would be more valuable for us to include Medicare sales agent for us to do Medicare agent certification again. And you'll have to filter through these keywords to understand the search intent. So I would look at something like Medicare agent certification, and that's an individual that's trying to become a Medicare agent, in contrast to Medicare, a Medicare sales agent, right? That's probably an individual that's looking for a Medicare insurance agent that they can talk to, looking for that service. So hopefully that.
Yeah, that does. One quick question, another quick question.
Yeah, of course.
I don't want to be greedy here, but let's just say that I'm trying to do these Medicare agents or Medicare near me, but I'm licensed in Georgia, 3 other states, and I want to, hopefully get impacted in the other areas.
Yeah. That's a great question. So do you just have a physical location in one state, but you're licensed?
Yeah, I have a physical location, but I'm a non-resident licensed agent in several more states, and particularly for other areas of like PNC as well as life and annuities and all the things I'm talking about. So I'm looking at what you're sharing here today is so phenomenal that if without hiring exactly what you did, because I played for quick clickbait, I paid for all those search engine optimization, all that, and got nothing that I desired. Totally. So I'm like, this here is like awesome on steroids. If I can do this to some degree, but also make it effective for other states I'm licensed in.
Yeah, no, that's a great. Okay, so this is kind of a more hacky way to do this. So probably the most effective way would be like get a business
Virtual
address,
business.
like yeah, virtual business address in each of those locations, like probably like the biggest cities, right, of each of those states. But what you could do is set up basically multiple business locations for each of those areas. I actually don't think, now that I'm kind of processing, I don't think you would have to have the virtual business address because you're a service provider. You could actually just designate, oh, we service just this specific area, right? So again, say it's like, we service Atlanta as an example. I don't know, but you could have my business listing that's specifically for Atlanta, saying you service, just Atlanta. And then if you're in another city, you could also have those there as well. So you could do, I believe it allows you to do, I think.
But how would I do that on the show that I'm trying to target those states?
Yeah. So let me go in and show you. So when you do this info section, you can actually just you should be able to just do the states. Let's just do, what's one of the states that you're in, Glenn?
Tennessee and Virginia.
Okay, Tennessee.
And Georgia.
Okay, cool. So do Tennessee. And I think we can just do a city. Is there a city in Tennessee that you see a lot of business coming from?
No, I'm just going there, so I don't have a specific one yet.
Okay, we'll just say Nashville, just as this example.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to require that street address. So you might have to do that virtual business. Let me follow up with this. And there is a way that you can just designate like a general area, and let me do some research and see if you can, basically designate that you could do this for each of those cities without having to have like a virtual business address. So yeah, we'll do that in a follow up with that.
Okay, that'll be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great question. Thank you. All right.
Perfect. Anyone else have a question for Cody? This has been incredibly informative. I put my email in the Zoom chat in case anyone has follow-up questions for myself or Cody. We're happy to answer any of it as you're going through and setting this up for your business, because it's really powerful. Looks like everyone's had an opportunity to ask questions. So at this point, what I'd love to do is just share actually one more tip with everyone. So as I mentioned up front, we're FairStreet, we're a startup, and we build software for independent Medicare agents, and wanted to show one of the tools that we've developed specific to AEP, because we know that you're in this phase right now of sending out AEP emails to all of your clients, getting all of their updated information. And so in case this is helpful for anyone, wanted to do a very quick demo of what our product looks like. So at the core, what we've built and what FairStreet is a CRM. So I'm logged in here, I'm seeing all of my clients, all of my prospects that I'm working with. But given this is AEP, you're really focused on serving your clients and doing a plan review for everyone. And I can see the coverage that they're currently enrolled in, as well as this to-do list, so that I can keep myself organized during AEP and make sure that I've emailed everyone, that they've submitted their information, that I'm doing the review, and that they're finished. The most helpful thing that we're hearing from agents is the ability to send an email to all of your clients asking for their updated prescription information. So to just show you what that looks like, let's say I want to email all 234 of my clients. I'm going to hit message, and then I can choose from a series of email templates. The one that people are using right now is called AEP message. You can customize this with any of your own language, but this will send a personalized email to each one of your clients asking them to fill out their updated prescription drug information. So I won't actually hit send, but let me just show you what your client receives on the other end. So they receive an email from you, they click the link, it'll have your contact information and your photo up here at the top and a message about AEP. And they can get started and actually start filling out that updated information that you need to be able to run a review. So they'll put in their prescriptions, We make this really easy. So trying to do drop downs, if they put in a brand name drug, we'll prompt them if they're actually taking the generic. They just put in their dosage, hit add prescription, and that's it. They can leave you notes, which is a really interesting one because we know people have, things that they're doing off, not exactly per the doctor's prescription dosage. They might be doing something as needed. It'll pull in preferred pharmacies, ask if they are open to mail order or switching pharmacies, which is a really important part of the Part D review process. And then ask how satisfied they are with their plan. So maybe this person really doesn't like it. They hit submit and you get a confirmation email. And if I go back into this person's profile in their CRM, then I can see that they've submitted their AEP form. The notes that they submitted in that form are right here, and their pharmacy and their prescription are in their profile. And this is saved. Unlike Medicare.gov, this will be saved to their profile every single year. And you can push this directly into the quoting system. So that's an incredibly quick demo. If that's helpful to anyone, feel free to reach out to me, but wanted to give you a sense of what we're working on more on the technology side as well. But this is, we're early days in building out these live classes. So would love any feedback as well about what future topics you would love to see. So with that, thank you so much for joining, everyone. We'll end 10 minutes early because we know this is a busy time, and so we'll give you 10 minutes back. But just many thanks for joining today, and thank you, Cody, for sharing so much knowledge with all of us.
Happy to be here. Yeah, super excited. And if there are any questions, let us know. We're happy to follow up, and I'm happy to just answer those over email. So cheers.
Great. And oh, Glenn, I just saw you put a question in the chat. I'll just quickly answer. He asked, how much is the program? So the software itself is free. We operate as an FMO upline. And so long as you have one contract that goes through us, you have access to the platform. So I'm happy to send you an email and we can chat if that's interesting to you, but really appreciate everyone joining today. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.